It was in 2001 A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. Because the Star Child thing, that's actually what you're describing. It's a film, okay? It's a film made by a pretty screwed up guy. However, what you're saying, I suppose, could qualify as a religion unto itself. But that isn't really what you're getting at, is it? Right? I mean, what you're trying to say is that scientific theory, which you're trying to play off as actual scientific religion or absolute scientific belief, as in, as you put it, fact, rather than something that's theorized and is a theorized possibility within scientific thought, is a fact, and that's your position for an argument against atheism. Myself, I'm not personally an atheist, actually. I'm not an agnostic, I don't believe in any particular religion, but let's say I have an open mind on the subject because, that which is tangible to me doesn't necessarily equate to that which is real, okay? Simply because I can lift up a lighter and drop it on the floor and it does it again and again, to me doesn't mean that that is truth, it just means that it's happened again and again as far as I can see, okay? Or maybe not. Maybe that's a little too brief a description for my own personal beliefs. That's an aside to this. What you're trying to say is, and I'm not getting at you in any way, believe me, I mean you're obviously quite intelligent, you're also quite young, so am I, from some perspective I suppose you could say, but how can I put this? Your argument would have merit if you were talking about spirituality and, shall we say, metaphysical possibility in general, rather than specific religion. In the case of specific religions, there are some exceptions where your argument does not actually have any validity. For example, very strong literalist dogmatic religions such as extremist equivalents of pretty much any single dogmatic or orthodox religion. That includes all the really big world religions, all of them actually. The ones that still exist with a following, like say the big one which you're probably thinking of is Christianity. Then there's Islam, Buddhism, and so on and so forth. We don't really, aside from Hindi, which now is kind of backpedaled and it's become a monotheistic religion, monotheism being a single deity. Before it was pantheistic, somewhat more tolerant, because of course if you've got many gods, then there's a possibility that other people's gods might actually be acceptable because they're just their gods, rather than a rival of your God who is the only true God, and so on and so forth. But I'm rambling. At the end of the day, if you could clarify and say that you think science and religion as a generality are compatible to a degree, okay. If you're saying that Christianity in its dogmatic biblical sense, for example, are compatible, sorry mate, that's nonsense, quite honestly. It's absolute nonsense. I mean, it just doesn't stand up. And if you doubt me, please go ahead and just, peruse YouTube. There's plenty of arguments on here that will support mine in this particular regard. Plenty from the atheist community that will support my argument in this particular point. sorry if that's the case. Otherwise, keep on thinking, yeah.